You know, baseball, more than any other game out there, is such a game of uncertainty. There are so many things that are outside your control in the game of baseball, and that's always why I talk about controlling the controllables. So let me explain what I mean by that. Let's talk about the uncertainties of baseball, right? Well, for starters, you know, you're going to play on good fields that are well manicured, and you're going to play on fields that are not very good at all, right? You're going to play day games and night games. You're going to play day games where, you know, you can see very, very well, and then there's going to be skies that are, you know, tough skies to see in. You're going to play night games underneath lights that are, I mean, it's like a big league park. The lights are amazing, and the entire field is lit up, and outfielders with fly balls, you know, you can see everywhere, and the ball is just, you know, it looks picture perfect, beautiful pearly white in the night sky. And then you're going to play sometimes where, you know, the lights are not very good, and every single time as an outfielder you look up into the lights blind you, right? As a hitter, when you're at the plate, you're going to face guys that are right-handed pitchers, and you're also going to face guys with left-handed pitchers, and you have no control over when a righty or lefty's coming in the game. You also have no control over their arm slot. You know, some guys throw over the top, some guys throw 3/4, some guys throw sidearm, submarine. You have no control over that. You have no control over their velocity. You're going to be facing guys who throw really, really hard. You're going to be facing, you know, guys that are just average. You're going to be facing guys that throw slow, and sometimes slow pitchers are going to, you know, mess you up a little bit. You can't really control what pitches a particular pitcher throws. So he might have a 4-pitch arsenal. He might be able to, you know, paint the corners and throw any one of his pitches at any point in time for a strike. Or you might, you know, face a guy who only has 1 or 2 pitches, and maybe he's all over the place, right? You know, you're going to play in beautiful weather, and you're going to play in weather that's not that great. In fact, it might be a very cold day, or it might be a little drizzly rain coming down. You're going to play with great umpires that you love their strike zone, and you're going to play with umpires that are all over the place. They're inconsistent. Their zone's way too big or way too small if you're a pitcher, right? So my point in saying all of this is there's a lot of things in the game of baseball, more so than I think any other sport, that are just external, outside of your control. And my suggestion to you is to forget about all the things that are outside your control, because literally there's nothing that you can do about it. Instead, I would shift your focus to controlling the controllables. Think about all of the things that you can control. So what are some of those things, right? Because the things outside our control, there's nothing we can do about it, but there are a lot of things in this game of inconsistencies and uncertainties. There are a lot of things that we can control. So some of those things might be, you know, your pregame routine. It could be your pregame meal, and it could be what time you show up to the yard before, how early you are before first pitch. How do you get your body physically and mentally prepared and ready to go, ready to play a game? You know, what drills are you doing? What are your routines there? You know, what are your routines in the on-deck circle? Are you doing the exact same thing every single time? Maybe you take a couple swings and you do a couple stretches, and then you're just locked in on the pitcher getting your timing. Or is it inconsistent all over the board? You should control that on-deck routine. You should walk up to the plate the exact same way every single time. When you step in the batter's box, you should have a routine that you do, whether you're moving around the dirt a little bit with your hand up towards the umpire, signaling time while you do it, or whatever your routine is. Maybe you tap the plate a couple times. You should do that every single at bat. You should even have a routine in between pitches. So let's say the first pitch is outside, it's a ball. And, you know, before you look at your third base coach, what is your routine to, you know, replay that pitch and think about it, and think about how your plan and approach at the plate has to change? What does that routine look like? All right, let's say you hit a hard ground ball, but it's right at the shortstop and you're out. What is your post-at-bat routine? You should have a routine for, you know, do you have a little bit of a journal where you write, you know, the opposing pitcher's name and number, and you write, you know, how he attacked you that particular at-bat, and you build up this, you know, library, this resource that you can have, not only for the rest of that game, but throughout the rest of that season and the seasons to come? Do you have a journal, or do you have some sort of a routine where you think about, you know, why did I fail there, and how am I going to make adjustments moving forward, right? Do you have a routine there? Do you have a routine when you're out playing on defense? Do you have a post-game routine, whether you had a great game or whether you struggled? You know, do you have a routine there? So what I'm getting at here is you have got to figure out the things that you can control and, you know, worry about those. And then the things that are outside your control, you need to, you know, quit giving those things attention, because there's nothing you can do about it. And I pulled this up, I wrote this down because I think this is so great for you to think about. It's called the Serenity Prayer, and it says, "Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference." So powerful. So, you know, I've given you some ideas here on how you can do a better job of controlling the controllables. I've got a quick little exercise for you. I would love for you to do this. I think it'll really help you out. Grab a piece of paper, divide it in half, and on the left-hand side, I want you to write down all of the things in baseball that are uncertain, that are outside of your control. So the things we talked about, you know, it could be bad weather, could be a righty on the mound or a lefty on the mound, you know, all of the things that are outside of your control on the left side of the page. And then on the right side of the page, I want you to write down as many things that you can actually control. So I've given you quite a few in this particular video, but I know you can come up with more. What are the things that you have 100% complete control over when it comes to your routine, your preparation, and all that kind of stuff? Then what I want you to do is make a big X over the stuff that's outside your control on the left side of the page, because again, there's nothing that you can do about it. You can't control that kind of stuff. It's better to just not worry about it and focus 100% of your energy on the things that you can control. So if you do this little exercise, I would love for you to tag us on social media or send it to me, and I'll be sure to reshare it, repost it for you. I think it's an awesome exercise. It's really going to help you out. But I hope that you understand this. I hope it makes sense. Baseball there's so many uncertainties in this game. There's so much that lays outside your control, and the only way to really perform at your peak on the field is by just worrying about the things that you can control. And this is great life advice as well. So many things that are external circumstances that you can't change. You can't change, you know, what happened last game. You can't change, you know, what happened last at bat. You can't be worried about what's going to happen in future at bats. All we have is the present moment. You've got to play one pitch at a time, and you really have to control the controllables. Okay, so do that exercise. Tag us on social media. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it useful. And do me a favor, if you did like this video, please leave it a like, leave it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already, because we're coming out with brand new baseball videos every single week, and I don't want you to miss them. So subscribe. And last thing, hitters, I put together a free resource for you. It's called the Contact Point Checklist. Go download that right now. If you haven't downloaded it, it's going to help you take your hitting to the next level. You can download it by just clicking on the link down below in the description or in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Hopefully it was helpful for you, and I'll see you in the next one.